if you had any advice that you would give anybody, especially like new parents, maybe it's their first time, because we were first time moms, so we know first time's a
Yeah.
whole nother road. If you had any advice for new parents, what would it be?
So my advice be to trust your doctors. I say that even knowing that my doctor, you know, it was not intentional. I don't think it was, I don't think it was a malicious act, but trust your doctors. If you have questions, talk to your doctors. They're there to help you, and shop around. That's the other part. Shop around for a doctor that matches what you want, who will give you the care that you need, who doesn't make you feel less than just because you don't understand medical terminology, who are willing to take the time to answer your questions and work with you towards bringing home a healthy baby. That's what you want. So just like with my OB, with Kinsley, my second daughter, she was there every step of the way. We planned for the birth. She always heard me. If I had concerns, she was always there. Find someone like that and then trust them implicitly. Trust them because it's a partnership then. Find someone who's a partner with you because they're just as invested as getting this baby here as you are, like mine was. She was so invested. She got me in 2 days early because she was nervous and I was nervous. She was like, well, I don't have to deliver as long as she gets here. So that's what we did. And then second, don't crowdsource from social media. Asking for people's experiences online. I get it. You don't want to feel alone, but people are going to give you bad advice and you'll have no way of knowing it's bad. And so it's just try your best to call your provider and ask them the questions. If you feel like you're being dismissed by someone answering the phones, hold off to talk to your provider. Don't go online and ask, I don't know, like, I'm having pain and I'm bleeding. What should I do? If that's happening, call your OB. If they're not answering, go to the hospital. That's another piece of advice. If you feel like something is wrong, go in. They have to see you. They have to see you. They can make you feel bad. And that happened to me at one point. I had an at-home Doppler. I used it, couldn't find her heartbeat. Shouldn't have had that Doppler, but anyway. And I went in and they made me feel this big for going in. But I went and they found her heartbeat and I felt better. Just screw them. It doesn't matter. It's about you. It's about your baby. It's about your family. If you feel like something is wrong, go into the hospital. And most of the time, the nurses in there will be like, absolutely, we'll give you peace of mind. Cool. And then either you'll walk out saying, thank God, or you'll walk out feeling, well, it was nothing, but I still feel better. So I guess that's the biggest takeaway is, trust your doctors, find one that you trust. Okay. That's probably first. Find one you trust them implicitly, work together as a team, and try to stay off social media and Google in relation to any issues you may be having, because it's going to help more than, or hurt more than it helps.
So afterwards, after all of this, because it's obviously none of it was ever, ever, ever imagined, in your worst nightmares. Did you get any support afterwards, friends, family, and even medically? Did you have any support?
Oh, so yeah. So I have the best support system I could ever ask for. And I really think that's why I feel as confident sharing my story and living the life, doing what I do now, because I have the support. So I'm in school to be a therapist, to deal with this specific type of loss. And I have the support of my husband and my friends to keep pushing me along and telling me to do this. When I talked to them about the opportunity you extended to me, they were like, yeah, let's never know. You shouldn't talk about it. It's always, yes, talk about Carsen. Like, let's do this. Let's use your voice. And my support is amazing. I also got into therapy like less than 2 months after she died. And still have an ongoing relationship with my therapist. We meet every other week. And that's another big thing is if you can afford it, that's one of the problems too. If you can find one, another big problem, who specializes in infant loss or child loss, you want that specialty, because a specialist in grief just isn't going to give you the same level of care. They can't. That will make all the difference. That will make all the difference. And to get in early, my therapist had a waiting list. I just happened to snag the last spot. she had to turn people down. There's only one of her. People travel from, we're in Delaware, so they travel from Maryland, and they'll travel from the beach to, like, they were traveling before COVID to meet with her. There's a need. But my support has been awesome. And I really credit, how I try and handle things, well, how I handle things with them. Like I had a million people to lean on. They still hold me up, and medically too. I mean, the doctors who took care of Carsen, the nurses who took care of Carsen. I mean, I still keep in contact with some of them. They talk about her. And so that helps too, knowing I have the support of that staff to, just remember my girl and keep her name alive.